Hello, and welcome back to Love on the Pod, a podcast about all the cheesy romantic TV movies we adore. I'm Danny.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Sherry. Welcome.
This week we are talking about our favorite royal holiday picks, our favorite movies about Christmas, and have a little royalty thrown in there. So we each have two movies to share, and we're going to start off with Jessica.
Cool. Yeah, we're continuing our Christmas in July celebration with this roundup. So I had a hard time with this because there's a lot of royalty themed movies that I quite enjoy. And I got a lot of them mixed up, trying to figure out which one was which and which one I liked the best and which one really classified as royal and which ones didn't. So I chose two that I really enjoy. So the first one is A Merry Scottish Christmas, which was a Hallmark Channel movie, and it still is a Hallmark Channel movie. It was released just last year, and it stars Lacey Chabert, Scott Wolf, and James Robinson. And it follows estranged siblings Lindsay and Brad as they travel to Scotland at Christmas to reunite with their mother, Jo. And Lacey Chabert and Scott Wolf, they actually played siblings on the television series Party of Five. And so this was a nice little reunion for the two of them. And this movie was filmed, a lot of it, in Ireland, even though it's based in Scotland. They actually filmed it in Ireland, which, go figure, have no idea why. But the castle scenes were filmed at Barberstown Castle in Straffan, County Kildare, Ireland. I love all these names. And it's a really cool place. I'm going to give you guys a little snippet of history from this place and how you can spend Christmas there. So this castle was built in 1288. And it has a rich history of defense, innovation, and transformation, playing a significant role in protecting the Pale and later evolving into a working estate known for agricultural advancement. Now a 4-star country house hotel, it has hosted various notable figures, including Eric Clapton, and offers visitors a chance to experience its centuries-old architectural heritage.
Nice.
Yeah, so because it's a hotel, you can actually go here and stay. And they have a 2-night Christmas experience that I thought sounded so cool. So you check in on December 24th and you're greeted with a warm glass of mulled wine and mince pies. There are carol singers in the lobby and a candlelight 4-course dinner. Then on Christmas, you wake up to a stocking full of treats, a delicious Irish breakfast, a visit from Santa, and a selection of Christmas movies and activities in the kids club. And they serve canapes, which I'm not sure what those are, but sound good.
It sounds fancy.
Yes. And then they do a traditional Christmas lunch, a light evening buffet, and music from the resident pianist. And then
fun.
And then on the 26th, you check out with a leisurely breakfast and a seasonal farewell with coffee, tea, and scones on departure.
That sounds so lovely.
I know. I'm like, I kind of
When
want to
do we
go to.
go?
I know. I want to go to Ireland for Christmas. Sounds wonderful.
But I don't want to just stay for 2 nights. Can you extend your stay?
Well, yes, I'm sure you can. But this is I don't know what the pricing is. I don't know how much this little experience is. I think it would probably be worth it. And so as far as the film goes, I don't want to give away too much about it because it's got a little bit of a twisty plot that's different from what a normal Hallmark movie is. But some of the reasons why I really love this film is that the A story is a different take on a Hallmark movie. It's not the typical love story that we have come to know and love. And so there is still a love story in there, but it's not the main point of the movie. And then Lacey Chabert is just the best. I love her. She's wonderful.
Adorable.
And if she's in the movie, you know it's probably going to be good. It's probably well written, probably well acted. And then when you see a name like Scott Wolf in it too, you kind of assume, although, we've made assumptions about other movies that weren't correct. But this was the highest watched film from Hallmark Channel last holiday season.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it too. I really enjoyed it.
I have not seen this one. And when you first shared that you were going to talk about this movie, I looked it up and I saw the picture and I thought, oh, I've seen that one. Can't remember what happens, but I've seen that one because I remember her in that green dress with the plaid sash. She looks so beautiful. And I remember like seeing that last year and wanting to watch it. So then I was doing some research for this episode and I pulled that up again and I watched the trailer and I realized I have not seen it. So I think it was just one that was on my list last year that I wanted to watch and I never got around to it. So, with your endorsement, I'm definitely need to go watch that one.
Yeah, it's really good. And I like the central theme of it being a brother and sister trying to repair a broken relationship rather than the romance being the forefront of the film. It's kind of different, like Jess said, and I really enjoyed it. And I love a guy in a kilt.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And, fun fact that I found out is that one of the pubs that they go into in the movie is called Salinger's. And that was the last name of Lacey and Scott's characters in Party of Five.
I wonder if that was
what a cute little
intentional.
nod.
Yeah,
Cute.
that was cute. So,
kind of like the Stephanie restaurant in the Cozy Christmas Inn.
Yes.
Maybe they do that on purpose.
Maybe. Yeah. It's possible for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I will say though that at one point the brother and sister are at a cafe drinking something called a dirty reindeer, which is cocoa with crumbled up chocolate chip cookies inside it. It sounds absolutely disgusting to me. So I looked it up to see if that's actually a thing, and I couldn't find a dirty reindeer, but I found a dirty cocoa from a site called Food by Jonister, and it's a cozy mug of hot chocolate with dark chocolate, cocoa powder, a pinch of cinnamon, and a shot of espresso, and that sounds delicious.
Yes.
That does sound good. Yeah, when you said dirty reindeer, I thought it was going to be like a fun drink, like a mixed
like
drink.
a spiked,
some Baileys and I don't know, something fun.
Soaking wet
mushy cookie.
chocolate. Yeah, chocolate chip cookie.
You just end up with mush at the bottom of your cup. Like, gross.
And then you need a spoon.
No.
Yeah, like cereal that's been sitting too long.
Yeah. I don't dip my cookies in milk. I don't like milk anyways, but I don't dip my cookies in milk. Soggy cookies, gross. No.
I do. I love to dip my cookies in milk, but the idea of it breaking off and falling into the milk, I'm not going to drink that milk.
No.
Because that's gross. So it sounds like intentional cookie dropped in your milk. I'm not into it. I'm usually really excited about the hot cocoa in Hallmark Christmas movies or any made for TV Christmas movies. Hot chocolates that they drink are always epic and it always makes me want one. And then I just go make my cocoa powder and water. It's not good.
It's not the same. Yeah, I know.
No.
And did you notice the song at the end of the movie was Home by Michael Bublé, but it was a duet with Michael Bublé and Cher? I thought that was awesome.
No.
You have to look it up. I think it's on Cher's new album.
I think they must have had some kind of partnership with Cher last year because they used her holiday album in a lot of movies last year.
They did.
Because it was in the Santa Summit. I think they used at least one Cher song in the Santa Summit. And then a few others, I think. Yep. Anyways, I highly recommend watching this movie. It's on Hallmark Channel. And I'm looking forward to what Lacey Chabert has for us this year.
She was in the Deck the Halls?
Holly?
Hall at the Holly, yes.
Hall at the Holly.
Hall at the Holly. And then the Hall at the Holly sequel came out last year. I mean, everything she's in is so good. But I just loved those movies. I watched them so many times. But like you said, Jessica, anytime that she is in something, it's going to be good. She's a gem.
Yeah, they did announce that she's going to have at least one holiday film this year. And she's partnering with somebody that she's never done a movie with before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So maybe for a future roundup, we should focus just on Lacey Chabert.
I call Mean Girls.
Well, that's not a Hallmark movie.
Just kidding. All right, Mom, what is your first pick?
Well, okay, so I wanted to jump back to last week when we were talking about Christmas movies, that some of our favorites, because I did my Christmas love, and the whole concept is the 12 days of Christmas. So I wanted to look up and see what it would actually cost to give someone the 12 days of Christmas gifts. And I couldn't find any current information, so this is from 2023. So if you did each one of the 12 gifts of Christmas, one a day for 12 days, it would be upwards of $46,000. If you ordered online and had to have things shipped in, like the drummers drumming and the pipers piping, $52,000. But if you did all 12 repeating days, like the song, it would be over $200,000 for this gift. So that just tells you how much money was spent in that movie to secure all these gifts. But it was a fun idea anyway.
Drummers drumming shipped into your house? Can you just
pay for their travel fees?
Yeah, you have to have them hop a plane or wherever your drummer's coming from. And I guess there's been a serious increase in the price of turtle doves lately, so that price has jumped up significantly from years past.
Turtle doves are in high demand.
So they are, apparently. Okay, so for my royal Christmas pick number 1, I went a little non-conventional with Cinderella Christmas that aired on Ion Television in 2016. So it's an older one. And I'm just going to read you a little brief synopsis. And it's starring Emma Rigby as Angie, Peter Port as Nicholas, Sarah Stouffer as Candace, and Mindy Kahn from Facts of Life as Zelda. So, ever had a cousin who stole your thunder? Meet Angie, the brains and beauty behind her uncle's event planning empire. Problem is, her cousin Candace, the boss's daughter, is more interested in selfies and social climbing than actually doing any work. So when the prestigious Carmichael family calls on them to plan their annual Christmas bash, guess who does all the heavy lifting? You got it, Angie. So this one's really cute. I love it because it's got that Cinderella theme throughout. Of course, the cousin plays the part of the evil stepsister, and she just wants all the acclaim. She wants to be recognized, but she doesn't want to do any work. So poor Angie is doing all the work, planning this masquerade ball for Christmas for this wealthy family. I don't know why, but they only get one ticket to go to the ball. And of course, Candace weasels her way into getting the ticket. She gets the beautiful gown that's made by this really quirky dressmaker, Mindy Kahn, who plays the part of Zelda, who is for all intents and purposes, the fairy godmother. But as fate would have it, Candace ends up with a terrible facial. Her face turns bright red. She can't go to the ball. And so, unbeknownst to her, Angie takes her place. Of course, she's in a mask. She meets the handsome businessman, and it just goes from there. And I won't give away the whole ending, but of course, it's a Cinderella story, so you kind of know what's going on. And so I love it, first of all, because Emma Rigby, she's gorgeous. She's perfect Cinderella. She plays it in a very sweet and kind of demure way. Candace, played by Sarah Stouffer, she's hilarious as the evil cousin, and all the things that happen to her. And I love Mindy Kahn from Facts of Life as the fairy godmother, because she's got this little twinkle in her eye. She's got purple hair, and she's just rooting for Angie the whole time. And the gal that plays Nicholas's mom, Leslie Ann Down, she does a great job of taking him down a few notches, because he's the proverbial playboy who just likes to spend the family money. And she doesn't have any problem pointing out what a douche he is. And so can we say that? It was just a fun twist on the Cinderella story. I've seen it several times. I own a copy of this one, so I would definitely watch it again. I don't know if either one of you have seen this one.
Yes, I love this movie. I think that, like you said, Mom, Emma Rigby is gorgeous. She is a perfect Cinderella. I just thought it was so cute. It was over the top. It was magical. It reminded me, the dress that she wears and the mask, it all reminded me very much of a Cinderella story with Hilary Duff.
Yes.
It always kills me in these movies when they go to a masquerade ball and it's like, oh, no one knows who I am. I'm now this magical princess. Like, you have half your face covered. People still know who you are.
Little mask.
But it's the magic of the movie, right? And just like in the original Cinderella, it's still the same girl. She just put on a fancy dress, and now all of a sudden you don't recognize her.
Yes.
Like, if I put on a fancy dress, you still know who I am.
Yeah.
But it's really cute. It's very 2016. The fashion is, now looking back, hilarious, because, this was a while ago. Back then, maybe it was on trend, but now watching it, it's kind of funny. But it's really cute. And I really felt like the Cinderella and the Prince Charming character did have really good chemistry. So that's one I've watched multiple times, and my girls really love that one too.
It's a fun one. What do you
Guys,
think? Just
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
can tell already by your face.
I could tell this is the one you don't like. Okay, I'm surprised because there's one that I don't like this round too, and it's not this one.
I just kept thinking, wow, this is getting dumber and dumber.
No.
I do like the main actress, although she did, I noticed, kept slipping into her British accent a little bit here and there.
Oh.
And I was like, are we American? Are we British? Which one are we? I don't know. I loved the dress. I liked the ball. I just felt like there was a lot of things where I just thought, I don't understand what's happening here. And the main thing I really didn't understand is why the heck were the event planners not at the ball? They should be at the ball. They're running the ball. That didn't make any sense to me. And then she sneaks in and then puts flour all over herself. And I'm like, what? You're the caterer too? What? I don't understand.
Well, that's true because she's in the kitchen a lot,
Yeah.
as well as planning the event. And then Candace is just not showing up anywhere.
Whatever she wants. And the dad does not hold Candace accountable at all. Candace is just like, sorry, everything's better now. No, you're a jerk. So yeah, this was not my favorite movie. It wasn't like painful to watch, but I would not watch it.
Well, glad to hear that.
Sorry.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah. Because we have listeners who may watch the movie and some will like it and some will not, and that's okay.
Yes. Yes.
So we will not invite you over for a Dirty Reindeer and Cinderella Christmas. Now we know.
Don't invite anybody over for a Dirty Reindeer.
No.
That sounds really uncomfortable.
Any beverage you have to eat with a spoon, I don't think that's right.
Unless it's a milkshake.
Yeah. It's a milkshake. I'm into that. Gosh.
Yeah, so that was my pick. I'm sorry it wasn't everything you hoped for, Jess, but I loved it. So
that's okay.
It's my favorite movie. It stinks. All right. Well, my number one pick, this is one of my very favorite movies to watch at the holidays. Watch it multiple times every season. This came out on Netflix in 2019. It's called The Night Before Christmas, Night with a K. It is about Brooke, a high school science teacher who crosses paths with Sir Cole, a medieval knight who has somehow time traveled to the 21st century. Together, they learn what life and love is truly about as their relationship blossoms. It is adorable. And honestly, when I saw the preview for this movie, when it first came out, my initial reaction was a time traveling knight. Like, what are we doing, Netflix? This is weird. This is going to be stupid. And then I watched it and I absolutely loved it. It's so good. It's so well acted. It's got Vanessa Hudgens, plays Brooke. She is so talented. She's just adorable. And it's funny because I remember when our younger siblings were watching High School Musical, and I used to think, like, she's not that great of an actress, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of cringy. And now that she's older, all of these movies that she's been in the last, 5 years or so, like, just excellent. She is absolutely wonderful and very believable in this role. Somehow she makes it not weird that she's inviting a time traveling knight to stay in her home with her. You would think that would like put up a red flag, but for some reason she makes it seem very sweet and normal. Sir Cole is played by Josh Whitehouse. And their chemistry is just fantastic. He is very cute as the role of the knight. I love how especially the scene where he discovers what Alexa is, and he's like trying to duel with Alexa, and he's trying to like figure out the magic box that is the TV and just all these things. It's so comical. It's so cute. Yeah, I just really love it. It's such a good one.
It's so childlike, his interactions with the modern technology of the 21st century. He thinks Alexa's name is Alexa Play. And so he's always saying, Alexa Play, put on Jingle Bells or whatever. And when he has to have an MRI because he's had a head injury, I survived your tube of torture. He talks in this old-timey verbiage, but having him try to figure out what these things are in the 21st century. It's so sweet and so cute. I just really love this movie too. And I love their interactions together.
Yeah, I love this movie. I've seen it multiple times. It harkens back to A Nutcracker Christmas, which is also one of my favorites. Or
Mhm.
Nutcracker Christmas or Very Nutty Christmas. Melissa Joan Hart
Something like that.
and Barry
Yeah.
Watson. Very Nutty
Hmm.
Christmas, I think is what it is. But he's a nutcracker that comes to life. And
Yes.
so it
Oh,
kind of
That's an
reminds
older one.
me of that. I love that movie. It's so good. I wish Barry Watson would do more movies. Anyways, so I love the magic of this. I love the silliness. I love the trope of, a time traveling knight. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but the writing is great and the acting is great. And this is a good example of being able to take a story that could go really wrong and make it a really fun movie.
yeah. I
Well,
think
and
Netflix did a really good job with this. I think if Hallmark had taken it on, it may have
maybe
turned
not so
out
much.
a little bit disastrous. I don't know.
Well, and I feel like Netflix has really stepped up with their sets and with their locations. This was filmed in Ontario, Canada, with Norwich, England scenes filmed at Tullamore, Ireland Castle, Charlotteville Castle, Charleville Castle. Yeah, in Tullamore, Ireland. So, I mean, they're all over the place in their filming locations. And so you get that authentic snow and you get the authentic background, and it's not pieces of pillow fluff on the ground making it look like snow. It's really snow. Yeah, I love that. The one thing that I was wondering, she's a school teacher, so she has
Mhm.
quite the guest house, and she says that she has inherited it from her family,
Yeah, it was her
who have
parent.
pets. But her dad was a cop. They don't say what her mom did, so they did pretty well to have this
Maybe
beautiful
her
house
parents
and a guest
also
house.
inherited it.
Maybe it's a long line in the family, but
I also am still holding out hope that there'll be a sequel. It was in 2019, so I'm guessing it probably won't be because Netflix usually pumps out those sequels pretty quickly. So
yeah,
Netflix, please give us a Night Before Christmas sequel.
we would
Yes,
love to hear it. Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Jess, what is your second pick?
My second pick is also a Vanessa Hudgens movie
Ooh.
from Netflix. So there are multiple sequels to this movie, but I'm just going to focus on the first one. And it's called The Princess Switch. And it came out in 2018. And like I said, it's starring Vanessa Hudgens and then Sam Palladio and Nick Sagar, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. Let me give you a synopsis of this movie. So, competing in a Christmas baking competition in Belgravia, which is not a real place. Sorry, guys. A Chicago baker bumps into the prince's fiance who looks just like her, and they decide to switch lives for 2 days. So obviously a lot more happens in this movie than just that, but that's the very bare bones synopsis of this film. And most of this film was set in Romania. It was filmed in Romania at Caroli Castle in Satu Mare in Romania. I had to look all of this up about how to pronounce it, but I think I got most of it right. So this castle was revamped between 2009 and 2012, and it's become a local tourist attraction and a cultural landmark. It was originally built in 1482 and transformed over centuries. The castle served various roles, including a fortress, a Baroque residence, a sanatorium, military school, and now a museum and cultural center, highlighting its historical significance in Transylvania and Romania. So they filmed much of the movie there in Romania. The bakery shots are in Romania. A lot of it, I don't think they filmed any of it here in the States, which normally they don't because it's too expensive to film here. So why I love this movie is I just love the story. Okay. Grew up with the Parent Trap. I love a good
Mhm.
switch story. There's going to be all kinds of hijinks that happen. And you kind of know how the story goes. Eventually, somebody's going to find out, and then they're going to have to figure out what to do. But it's just a fun movie. I love the costuming. Of course, most royal movies have great costuming, but this one, because it has Netflix money, it's taken up a notch as far as what they're wearing and the jewelry and all of that stuff. And the scenery is just beautiful. So I'm into this movie, and I like both the sequels, although this one is definitely my favorite out of the three.
Yeah, I would definitely agree that the first one is the best. However, I loved the first one so much that I think it has caused me to love the second one and the third one. And I wouldn't be mad if they came out with a fourth, to be honest. My daughters and I watch this one over and over again. And if we watch one, chances are good we're going to just sit and watch all three. My 6-year-old in particular loves the cousin character from the second and third movie, who's very over the top and calls Maggie, she calls her Maggie Moo. And so my 6-year-old will walk around the house, pretend to be her, and she'll be like, Maggie Moo. It's so hilarious. But yeah, we love this movie. And one thing that I really thought was kind of fun about this one is that Netflix also has another royal Christmas series, A Christmas Prince. I think there's 3 movies for that one too. And that one is based in Aldovia. And if you listen in the Princess Switch series, there's a scene where actually the prince or the king and queen, I guess, of Aldovia are there. You can see them at one of the events. I can't remember what it is. But then there's also like a scene in the Princess Switch where she's going through some ornaments, I believe. And she says, oh, this one is from our trip to Aldovia. And so it's just really cute how they take the 2 series and kind of marry them together like they're happening in the same universe. So I thought that was cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I love this movie too. And I have only seen the first 2, but I watched this one again this week in preparation for our podcast. And I forgot how much I loved it. It's just so endearing. And Vanessa Hudgens does such a great job playing a dual role. I felt like her accent as Margaret was believable. She looked adorable. Like you said, Jess, it has a very Parent Trap vibe. And yeah, I thought it was really well done. There was one continuity part when they're at the orphanage where she's got this very large pearl earring and then it's gone. Well, she loses it and then they find it. But in the scene, it's there and then it's gone and then it's back and then it's gone again. So that was just one little thing that I noticed, but really, really a sweet movie. And I love that they did 2 more sequels. I'm excited to see the third one. I haven't watched that one yet, but yeah, very well done. I love this one.
And in the sequels, Vanessa Hudgens plays all 3 characters. And I cannot imagine what that must be like to prepare for that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, filming time must take 3 times as long, right? Because you have to reshoot every scene over and over and over again, moving in body doubles and moving her. I can't imagine what that even looks like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And she's got to have believable chemistry with the various partners of the various characters. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing. She's very talented.
Yeah. And different accents and, everything is different.
Yeah.
Yep. A challenge for sure.
Yeah. Just being able to switch back and forth and being like, okay, I've got the blonde wig on now. Who am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to sound?
Yeah.
So yeah, very well done on her part.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Mom, what's your second pick?
Okay, so my second pick is quite a bit older. This premiered on December 3rd of 2011 on Hallmark Channel. It's called A Princess for Christmas, and it's currently streaming on Prime as of this recording, starring Katie McGrath, who reminds me so much of Keira Knightley, Sam Hagen, and Sir Roger Moore, known for playing James Bond. So in A Princess for Christmas, Jules Daly, a young American woman from Buffalo, unexpectedly becomes the guardian for her niece and nephew after their parents tragically pass away. Struggling to make ends meet, she receives a surprising invitation from her children's estranged grandfather, the Duke of Castlebury, to spend Christmas at his castle in Europe. So it's this classic story of this commoner woman comes to a castle, meets this dashing prince, and you get to see how their relationship evolves and trials and tribulations that they have to go through, and the stuffy grandfather who has invited the kids there, but once they're there, he doesn't really want to have anything to do with them. He doesn't want to put up a Christmas tree, and just how they are able to change each other's lives, and the kids can bring some much needed happiness and joy into the castle and really change the narrative of the grouchy old grandfather. So I really like this one. I've watched it over and over again. Whenever it comes on, I'll just sit and watch it. It's that, like I said, that classical tale of a commoner finding love with a royal. But the subplot of the grandfather's relationship with the children adds a sweet element. And is it believable? I mean, look at Harry and Meghan's. it is within the realm of possibility that someone who has no royal ties could become part of a royal family. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I have not seen this movie, so I need to watch it. But it's funny that you say she reminds me of Keira Knightley because Elizabeth Henstridge reminds me of Keira Knightley a lot from
Okay.
last
I
week's
can see
episode.
that.
I think they maybe are from the same region because their dialect is very similar.
Okay.
But this movie looks very cute. I love it when they do a movie about somebody who's not royalty and they invite them into the fold and you kind of know what's going to happen, that they're going to be catty and rude to them and then they're going to win them over. How the trope usually goes, but it looks really cute.
And there's always that Duchess that expects to become part of the royal family, and she's always horrible. You know that's going to happen, but it's all part of the fun.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
have you seen this one, Danielle?
I have not seen this one either. This is one that I had planned to watch this week and it just got away from me. So I have not watched it, but it did look really cute. I did notice though that Sam Hagen, who is the male lead in this movie, is also Jamie in Outlander, which is a Netflix series that I absolutely love. And he plays one of the main characters, Jamie, and he does such a phenomenal job. So that really made me want to watch it more because I know what a great actor he is. And yeah, so that just was an interesting little tidbit.
Well, in this one, another little subplot that I loved is that all the people that are like ladies in waiting and the butler and the cook, they all kind of rally around Jules because they love her and they love her personality and they think that she brings a warmth and a normalcy to the castle. And so when things start to turn a little sour, they really rally around to make sure that she's going to stay and see it through to the end. And it's really sweet.
Cute. I'm going to have to watch that one.
That's on Prime right now. So check it out. A Princess for Christmas.
Okay, will do. All right, my last pick is The Winter Palace. This one came out in 2022 on GAC. I can see from your faces already that you guys were not big fans.
Oh, I was.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just mom then.
I watched it yesterday.
I see some flicks. Okay, so 2022, it came out on GAC. This was really GAC's first big year for Christmas. And it has Danica McKellar, who I just love. And she plays Brooke, the main character. And this was her first movie after she left Hallmark and moved over to GAC. It was her very first GAC movie. So this one is about Emily, a romance writer who is struggling with writer's block after a bad breakup. She agrees to fill in as a caretaker to a picturesque chateau in the snowy mountains, if only to allow herself some peace and quiet to finish her book before the upcoming deadline. It's not long before owners of the chalet make their surprise arrival, and Emily discovers it's not the quiet chateau at all, but a royal winter palace, complete with a handsome prince and his staff. Emily and the prince start growing feelings for one another, but how could their relationship survive when Prince Henry is about to be crowned King of Cordovia?
Vita is always the end.
It's always Cordovia, Aldovia,
Genovia.
Montanaro is different.
Montanaro, yes. Yeah. There is, this is a total rabbit trail, but we've been watching a lot of hockey lately. And in all the American Canadian games, they do the Star Spangled Banner, and then they do the Canadian national anthem. And it occurred to me that the Canadian national anthem sounds just like the Genovian national anthem.
Genovia.
So that's funny. Anyway, yeah, I really love this movie. I think Danica McKellar is just adorable. I think she does a great job. The prince is very handsome. I think they have really good chemistry. I love when he shows up and he's trying to get in and she goes to the door, she's got like a fire poker or something in her hand because she thinks no one's supposed to be there. And she's like, no, go back to sleep. Sorry, that's just my 5 brothers, they're Army Rangers to try to scare him.
That was fun.
I thought it was really cute. I thought the sets were great. I thought the characters were great. The relationship that developed between the staff And both Prince Henry and Brooke, I thought it was cool to see kind of their evolution of being really, really stiff and regimented to like relaxing and taking some more time for themselves and letting their hair down literally. And just, yeah, I just think it's really cute. I've watched this one several times. It's one of Abby's favorites too. And it was worth watching, even though I had to watch commercials to watch it.
Yes.
Yes, I noticed that too.
So I watched it for the first time yesterday and loved it. So cute. Danica McKellar and Neil Bledsoe they've done 3 movies together. And so they have great chemistry. I've seen them together in Christmas at the Drive-In, which is
Yes, I enjoyed that
so
one.
good.
Yeah.
So good. But he unfortunately has left GAC, so I don't think we will be seeing them together any longer. But I haven't seen the 3rd movie that they're in together, so I would like to see it. And it is called Coming Home for Christmas. So anyways, but I loved this movie. I thought it was a good take on the royal theme because it wasn't necessarily in a castle and there weren't crowns everywhere and stuff, but you still had the hoity-toity family and the obligation that he had to, get all of his work done. And it was a little refreshing to have a prince who was actually like working and wasn't just screwing around basically and having to be told by his mom to like get his life together, which is usually what we see in these movies. So
yeah, the Playboy Bachelor.
Yes.
He seemed actually very responsible and like he was, handling his stuff. And without giving away the ending, I will just say that I really appreciated the recognition that he gave his sister for how hard she worked and just kind of that. Yeah, that's all I'll say. But the ending was really lovely. And I thought it was definitely a twist on what we usually see. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Yep. Okay, Mom, give it to us.
On the other hand, okay, I will start with the positives. I love the idea of the film. I loved, like you said, the different take on a royal movie where it's not all set in a grand castle. They're not all in ball gowns. It's a more simple story. I liked that. And I loved them together in Christmas at the Drive-In. For this one, it didn't work. He put on that accent. He put on that turtleneck sweater. And I was like, who is this snobby Count Dracula? I just didn't buy it. He seemed much older in this film. So he seemed too old for her. He was snobby. And I know that's all part of the story and that evolves like in most royal stories. But he was so over the top snobby and so, nose in the air. And even your dad walked in and said, who is this guy? I didn't buy their chemistry together initially. As the movie progressed and he softened up a little bit, I liked them together a little bit more, but initially I wasn't buying it. And I did like his cohorts, his royal staff. I thought they were fun and they added some humor to the movie. But yeah, right from the start, I was like, I don't know if I can watch this, but I did make it through the end. And by the end, I was like, okay, I see where this is going and this is good. But those two together in this movie, I didn't like it.
That's so funny because I totally thought his accent was real.
Yeah.
I did not because I've never seen him in anything else. So I didn't realize that it was fake. I thought it was really good. And I loved the turtleneck. I love a man in a turtleneck.
I typically do too, but you put the accent and the graying hair and then just the snooty attitude together. And I just kept seeing either like reclusive Bruce Wayne or snooty Count Dracula. I couldn't get past that.
No, I saw a cover of GQ. That's what I saw.
And I love me some Bruce Wayne.
Well, Danny, you should watch Christmas at the Drive-In.
Yes, I'll have to do that.
It's very good.
That's very good. I like that one a lot. And it's the same 2 leads and they work really well, in my opinion, in that movie. But this one, not for me.
He doesn't have an accent in that movie, but his attitude at the beginning of the movie is very similar. He's naughty, rude, not a very nice guy. And then it evolves, of course.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to. Is that
And
GAC too?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think so.
And Danica McKellar has a new Christmas movie coming out again on GAC
yay.
this year.
But isn't it funny to see what strikes joy for each of us and what kind of is like, I'm not feeling that? Because Jess, when you said there was one that we were going to talk about that you absolutely did not like, I was certain it was the Winter Palace. So it's not like I'm offended, but when you said it was Cinderella Christmas, I'm like, how dare you?
It's mine.
I love that movie. But that's just, that's kind of the fun of all of this, because you get to see what everybody likes and what other people don't like. And maybe you can pick up on, oh, I didn't notice that about it. Maybe I should give it a rewatch because maybe I'll like it the second time around.
Can I go off subject real quick?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, I told you guys this on Marco Polo, but I watched The Wedding Cottage. And oh my gosh.
Isn't it just
like top tier?
So good.
So good. Mom, have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I watched the trailer after you talked about it yesterday, and I definitely want to add that to my watch list.
It's so good.
I mean,
so good. I can't remember who is opposite Aaron Krakow.
Guy from
the detective from
our last movie,
Family Practice Mysteries.
Yeah,
Jack. I don't know his real name. Brendan Penny. Brendan.
Yes.
Penny? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh, man.
Just when you're thinking about a Hallmark movie, that is like perfection. So good, funny and emotional and all of it. I mean, obviously there are a few things where you're like, oh, okay, what's happening here? But but I just loved it.
But don't you think that's true of any movie? I mean, we kind of pick apart Hallmark, Lifetime, GAC because we love those movies. And so we are paying attention to all those details, like, oh, what? That wouldn't happen. But you can take any movie out there, any movie on the big screen, and say, what? That is not realistic. That couldn't have happened. So we're not picking on anybody.
No.
It's all in good fun, and it's because we have a heart and we love these movies so much.
All right.
Well, this was fun.
Yes, it sure was.
Yeah. Our next movie is going to be Tip Line Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder, continuing with our mystery series here. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Love on the Pod and email us your thoughts, your movie suggestions, and your questions to loveonthepod@gmail.com. If you love these movies or if you don't love them, let us know. If you have different royal holiday picks, we want to hear them. Go ahead and email us, follow us on Instagram, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.